Because I've got an FC out there that I can't get started for shit. But,
Still a rotary?
Yeah.
I've always been told down south, I was like, listen, if you don't know a good Puerto Rican to work on them, don't buy them. The police officer from the school actually caught me doing donuts in the school field. In the field, I was just doing donuts. I mean, back in the day, 400 horsepower was fast. And you had Hondas with like 250 horsepower. You were having the time of your life. I knew some savage salesmen that would be like, why do you need to ask your wife? Does she wear the pants in the relationship? Oh my God. When I heard that one for the first time,
They're going to take my man card. I got to spend 60 grand to show I still have it.
Yeah, I've been wanting this shit forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Hey. Ain't no errors, baby. It's a new era.
Welcome back to the #1 Drift Podcast on YouTube. My name is Dawson, and today we have...
Alejandro. Some people know me as Bang Bang.
Oh, yeah. If you don't know, you will after this episode. We're going to get into quite a few stuff. You've gone through, like, stunt driving and shit now. So, of course, started in drag world, living in Florida, right?
Yeah, in
and
Miami.
Then to Atlanta and...
I just moved back. I just moved to Atlanta.
Okay, that's what it was. Cool. Well, anyways, a lot more stuff to get into. But before that, look below the video. Make sure the subscribe button is not still red. If it is, go ahead and hit that and hit the bell notification while you're at it so you never miss an episode. And then, of course, Grassroots Hero steering wheel collab with Grip Royal. Grab those on 144 Racing. And if you haven't checked out the Nasty gloves too, I don't have any on me, of course. That's a bad one on my part. Throw it up on the screen for me, Josh. And then t-shirts, hats, stuff like that. If you can't get that, totally understand. I appreciate you watching anyways. But that's all I got for the intro. So if you want to kind of introduce yourself a little bit more in depth, what you do for a living, what you drive, stuff like that.
Sounds good. So I'm originally from Miami. Not born, came from Colombia when I was 6 months old. Lived there my whole life up until about a week ago. Well, 2 weeks. Yeah, about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Just moved up to Atlanta. Right now I'm a service advisor at Nissan. Back at home, I was a service advisor at other dealerships.
Yeah.
Kind of always in the sales world.
I was too.
It's
Yeah.
for me.
Never worked a day in the food industry.
No, me either.
I refused.
I can't. No, but yeah, I've kind of got into service advising because my brother works for a dealership. He's a tech, and he told me about it. Great money, and it's kind of the only way to be able to afford drifting.
That is true. Yeah, that's what started this. I was I guess not service, but I was a salesman,
What, selling cars?
making commission. Yeah. So
That's not, that
that
commission
month I
money, it's
had
different.
a good chunk in my bank account, just, burning a hole.
Well, I mean, for me, I always did sales, and because my only thing really was cars,
Yeah.
from drag racing to drifting, but pretty much that's the only way I was able to afford it. Sometimes I'd get like used tires,
Yeah.
stuff like that. It's
It all
never
started that way.
And plus, living in Miami, I was never really big into partying either. So my thing was just work cars, and throwing some travel in there as well.
Cool, dude. Well, what drag car did you have? Let's start there.
So I had the car I got to drag race was a 97 Integra.
Mhm.
It was B20B on boost. Now it didn't make much power. I think it made like 267, but
Still
it was
fun.
it was fun.
A little go-kart like that.
It was insane. The car was completely gutted, weighed nothing. It was fun, but I didn't really get to drive it much. It never had it registered. And another thing, I kind of wanted to be a police officer in the earlier days, and I was like, I can't risk doing it in the streets. So I took it to a track once, and then right before, that was like my first actual drag event. I got kind of introduced to drifting. So after that, I sold it and just stuck to drifting.
Well, how'd you get into the drag world, like, in the first place? Like, what was the first initial
My brother.
concept of it?
My brother had a Civic, it's a EG 4-door. And I would always go down in Miami. There's this place called Okeechobee. We would go to a spot called The Curve. And
Is that pretty known down there? I assume?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
that's the spot. You go racing, that's the spot. But recently it's gotten crazy. Like, it got raided, helicopters, bunch of people arrested, and it's bad. So right now the spot's a little hot. So, it's cooling down, But back in the day, it was a normal thing. Every Wednesday, you go Wednesday and Sunday.
That's
so
cool.
Wednesday, we'd go meet up at like a Publix.
Mhm.
And then if you wanted to race, you had the interstate right next to you.
Yeah.
So they would go and race there. So I was always in the passenger seat with my brother. I was the cameraman.
Hell
So
yeah.
I got an iPod somewhere back at home filled with videos.
Nice. Okay. And then I guess so what you had a Lexus at one time. Was that
I still have it.
technically a drag? Did you drag it at all?
So
I swear I
did.
saw a video of you doing it.
So I took it to track as well. And I got to I did one event. I think it was actually a clean culture event.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a clean culture event. I remember because my brother got into a 2-step competition. That was insane. He was ready to blow that motor. I mean, when you're competing against GTRs and Supras, you know, he was like, I'm willing to blow my motor right now to win this. Plus, Honda motors back then were like $500-$600.
Yeah.
So it wasn't anything crazy. But I did race the car with a bad clutch. It was spinning a little bit. But I had fun, and I had just gotten the car. I actually had sold my first car, which was a 93 EG 4-door.
Okay.
And I bought that car because that was actually my middle school childhood dream car.
I know what you mean, yeah.
Yeah,
Sick,
I actually still
dude.
have it to this day. It's actually back at home. Motor's going to be put in and then getting painted.
Cool. Were you just factory motor, I assume?
No.
Going back in it? Oh, no?
It's a 2JZ GE
Okay.
piston and rod setup. It was previously in a Supra. It got to 900, but they lowered it down to about 850. But yeah,
Okay.
throwing that in there.
Is it just going to be a drag car? Or
Nah,
are
it's
you
going to be
gonna
just a
make it
straight
drag
street car.
car?
I'm dumping
okay.
way too much money
I
into
feel
it
you,
to
dude. I love those
risk it.
cars so much, and just like the body style of them, because they almost, in a way, resemble a BMW, but not really.
Not a
Just-
big BMW guy.
I feel you, but well, I am. I love BMWs, but anyways, I've always loved those ISs, and then KBD makes a really good kit for it too. So
Yeah. So for me, when I was in like middle school, I would hear 4-door Supra, 4-door Supra this, 4-door Supra that. So I started looking into it, and my teacher actually had one. It was automatic, but she had one, and I kind of saw it in the parking lot. I was like, I kind of like
It
it.
looks good.
I started looking up videos, saw it on YouTube, on Boost, the way it sounds. I was like, that sounds good.
yeah, it sounds familiar.
Nah, love that car, man. I always tell everybody that car would never be for sale. You got to bury me in it.
Yeah, you ever got the drift one of them?
I did some.
They drive really well.
They do. So that's actually kind of where I learned the concept of drifting. I don't condone.
What?
I don't condone. You know, this
Oh,
street
so
stuff.
in that
but
car?
in that car.
Oh, okay.
I have
Sorry.
some videos of me. You know, So here's the thing. In high school, I was known for coming out of the school, and I'd just be drifting, like on the corner of the school. Just come out. I actually got the police officer from the school actually caught me doing donuts in the school field. So in the field, I was just doing donuts. And luckily, he didn't do anything. He didn't call my parents or anything, but they tell me, like, cool it.
Yeah.
But in that, within a mile radius of the school, man, I did a lot of damage.
Well, okay. So you mentioned that you had known about drifting since like 7 years old because of what was it?
I would drift in
Assetto or
Forza 2.
Okay. So how did, even though knowing of drifting and still ending up in drifting, how did you end up in drag racing first?
It was more affordable.
Is it really?
With a Honda,
At
it
that
is.
like low of,
I mean, back in the day, 400 horsepower was fast.
that's true.
So, and you had Hondas with like 250 horsepower, and you were having the time of your life. I mean, hell, I have one back at home still. It's stock motor, probably makes like 100 horsepower.
Yeah.
It's just a fun car to drive, but I got into it.
I never
'cause-
got that chance.
So I never really
That's
had
the Honda
anybody
thing.
around me in the drifting industry, so I didn't really know
Yeah,
too
that
much
does
about
hurt
it
Yeah.
until I was like 19, freshly out of high school.
Mhm.
I actually that's when I met Louis Lanz. He's the
Okay,
one that
yeah.
actually got me into drifting.
That makes sense. Okay. Well, so, okay. How did that interaction happen then? Where were y'all at?
So he had a business partner that
Mm,
my sister's best friend was married to at the time.
okay.
And he has a Jeep shop down in Medley. and they're called Carnage Motorsports. And Lewis was actually kind of like I guess you could say, a co-owner of it. And my sister introduced me to the owner of the Jeep shop, which is William. And then he introduced me to Gato. Well, Lewis, I call him Gato, but
where did that come from?
I don't know. I was just told, that was his nickname, and Gato just stuck.
Well, what does it mean?
Cat.
Okay. Now I'm even more confused.
Yeah,
what the fuck?
I never really asked him really where the name came from, but yeah, that's Gato means cat.
Huh. I'm gonna say that to him next time I talk to him. He's gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
But no, yeah. So they they introduced me to William. William introduced me to Lewis, and then I told him about the Hondas and this stuff. Well, they kind of knew about it because William knew my sister, and he knew that my brother was always in the Honda scene and all that stuff. But yeah, Lewis actually took me to a event at OSW. It was actually a private day with it was Adam. I think Taylor Ray was there. This was a long time ago. But yeah, he took me to the first event. They kind of explained to me the difference between drag racing and drifting, on how it's funner, even though
being able to go to a private day to experience it for the first time is cool, because you get to at that point you get to ask whatever questions you want to anyone. No,
yeah, I mean it was pretty cool. Especially at the time I was heavy on YouTube, watching YouTube videos, and I used to watch a bunch of Adam LZ videos, and I didn't know he was gonna be there, so I was seeing him there, I was like, oh, that's pretty dope, and I got to talk to him a little bit, and he's cool people.
Hell yeah. Well, how long have you been using Zek Novas then, since you know Lewis?
So I started running Zek Novas the first event that I drove in my car, which was
since the first event.
Well,
ever.
No. So I just recently started driving the new car, which I don't even think I said what I drive. Did I say what I drive? 370? I don't think I did.
Yeah. Wait.
No, I didn't.
I don't.
But yeah, I drive a 370Z, and it's actually Lewis's old 370Z.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. That explains a lot, because that car looks somewhat familiar.
Yeah, that car's been around a little bit. He did I think he did Drift Week 3 in it. Damn. He did clutch kickers in it.
What a champion of a car.
Yeah, and I haven't even done much to it. Really, everything is the same setup. All I've done to it is oil change, spark plugs, and one coil pack.
One?
One.
What do you mean one?
And listen, when I first got it, I wasn't in the best financial place, and it was just one.
Yeah, one's fine.
There was one coil pack that went out, and I just changed that one out.
Oh, okay. Then that's whatever. Yeah.
I know I should have changed all of them, but I was like, eh.
Nah, that's fine. You just gotta get by. It's cool. I get that. Okay, well then, what Zek Novas do you run? Front and back.
So the 300 tread wears.
Even up front too.
Yeah. Well, I was running before I got the deal with Zek Nova. I was running the Falcons up front.
Okay.
But right now those just went bad on me, so I'm getting a new set for the front, testing out how they are in the front.
How do you like them up front? It's just how, so you just now got rid of the Falcons then?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Then but you've been running them in the rear then.
Yeah.
What size do you run?
265/35.
Okay.
But I'm on a 11.5 wide in the rear.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Does that poke at all?
A little bit.
Cause on the 350Z, good luck fitting that big of a fucking
I have over fenders. I have over fenders.
Oh, damn.
But they're not complete over fenders, but it's like that,
Yeah. It gives you a little extra room.
A lot.
Oh.
Yeah, because I have a spacer in the back.
Then? Which overs is it?
Probably have a picture here.
Like the Crown?
I don't even know, to be honest. They were on the car.
Is it Crown Carbon or is it Hyper Hive now? I think it's Hyper Hive now. Whatever it is.
I don't even know. It's kind of blurry, but.
Oh, those look like Rocket Bunny ones.
I have no idea what they are.
They'll see it on the screen, so they'll be able to tell us. They'll yell at us in the comments. I don't know, whatever. Wide body kits on Z's don't do it for me.
I'm not big on wide bodies like that. It was already on the car. Car's already cut up.
Yeah.
Once those grenade, because fiberglass, once they blow up, I'll probably do a complete over fender. But for now, they'll do.
Hell yeah. Yeah, the Hyper Hive ones are the move because they just look like an OEM quarter panel. But So okay, then what tires were you running before the Zek Novas, or have you always been doing Zek Novas in the
So
rear?
before Zek Novas, I ran Acceleras.
Okay.
I ran
this is-
a couple Acceleras.
Perfect.
I ran a couple Acceleras, but before that, I used to run just used tires that I get from the dealership.
Yeah.
So but that was mainly with the 350Z that I had before. With the 370Z, I always ran either Acceleras or now the Zek Novas.
I finally gave into the peer pressure and got myself a sim. Now this off season I can get some seat time virtually in the sim at some tracks that I've never been to, or just practice on tandems. And I don't really replicate much, but what I like to is my nasty gloves, because I use those in the car religiously, and it helps keep some familiarity to the budget sim that I have. And you can actually customize these to whatever color you want on 144 Racing. So let me know, what setup are you working with, and what gloves do you like to drive with on the sim?
It's perfect that you said Acceleras, because I just showed, but I went on a ride along with Sparky Built, one that does the power steering racks and stuff. And he put on a pair of Zek Novas for the first time when I got in the car, and I was like, "Have you tried those yet?" He was like, "Nah, I've been running the 651s." I was like, "Oh, you're gonna like it. You'll really like it."
You're in for a
And then
surprise.
so we go out, we do like 5 laps or something. He's like, "Surely those are toast." And I was like, "Dude, they're fine. You at least got a quarter of the tread left, at least."
Nah.
He had half tread
Yeah.
easily left on them, and the grip level compared to the Acceleras, and like Acceleras are great tires and they're very budget friendly. Not talking about them, but the Zek Novas they definitely outperform
They're
as far
insane.
as grip level for one. Well, they're pretty close on grip level, I will say,
Well,
but tire life is great.
I will say this. I ran the 265 and the 285 Acceleras 651. Not even the 285 was like, for me, it didn't feel like it was close to Zek Nova.
Yeah.
It was
Well, that's actually Zek Novas are like true to size.
yeah.
I won't say that for sure. I'm not.
I was told the
100%
same
sure,
thing. So the
but
285s are
Acceleras
supposed to be
always
like a,
seem a little smaller than what size you're actually ordering. I don't know if that's just like the way.
I was told the
they're manufactured
285s
or
are kind of
what.
like a 265.
Yeah.
So that's what he had at the time. This was before Lewis was actually selling Zek Novas. So I would get my tires through him,
Mhm.
and he had that, and I was like, all right, I'll take him. So I took a set of 265s, and then a set of 285s. It was just for like a fun day, so I didn't really need like consistency or anything.
Yeah.
But
Just
when I
something to try out.
transitioned from Accelera to Zek Nova, it was big.
Wow, the
difference.
difference.
It was insane. Like I had to bump up the PSI, have more commitment, and it was. I guess some people say it was life changing.
Okay. Well, before I move to the next topic, I do want to say there should be a discount code as well for Zek Novas if you do want to try them. Work out a way to get a code on that. So should be on the screen if we have that figured out or by now or not. I don't know. If not, it's in the description as well. Look, season's coming up quick, and you do not want to be that one guy that shows up to the very first event without enough tires, because that sucks and you don't get enough seat time. So Zek Nova is helping you guys out to prepare for the season with 20% off on their tires. Oh frick, this is hard. And you can check it out with the link in the description. Just use my code CIRCLEOFDRIFT and you will get the 20% off. So whether you just need some for the first event or you're stacking up for the entire season, don't miss out on that. Take advantage of it. You never want to pay full price if you don't have to. And on top of that, the first 20 people to use the Circle of Drift code, we're going to throw in some free merch on top of it. There you go. Enjoy the tire discount.
Great tires, 100% recommend them.
Yeah.
It's
Just try them. Just try them.
the grip level is insane, and the life, like the amount of time they last, the amount of laps, it's insane. Like I've gone to at OSW.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on the type of driver you are, if you throw a lot of angle, you throw a little bit of angle, they can last you a whole private day.
Yeah.
And
I will
power.
say, just like any other tire, of course, if you do hot lap style like at Mid Pond, where you can just keep going around and around and around, you will chunk a little bit.
I'm actually going there next
like
weekend.
any tire.
So we'll test it out.
Beware. That track is just rough. It's gotten rough over the years.
I've never driven it.
It's great.
It looks fun.
Let me know how the improvements and stuff are doing. Because I'm curious.
I've seen they've been doing some stuff to the track, and I think they even
they're supposed to be getting it ready for clutch kickers and stuff. Actually, do you ever plan on doing that if it comes back?
So
you want to?
I would love to.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: same thing as Pro-Am. I actually got the 370Z because I was gonna go into Pro-Am. I wanted to get the FD license, but the cars that show up for those events are insane. You got big power, big budget people.
That's very true. Yeah. Why do you want to chase the FD route? I have to ask.
Just for fun, you know. I mean, you can't really turn FD to a career unless you're in like the car industry, like you have a shop or stuff like that. I don't know. I haven't gone that deep into looking.
Spend on fun.
I know, but I mean,
and
we'll
little
see.
laps.
We'll see. You know, I mean, I've always wanted to do it, kind of like make that achievement. But I mean, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But I know that to be able to compete, at least in the series down south, which is U.S. Drift Circuits. Shout out to Chris Jackson.
Good dude. Actually, yeah.
I love Chris, man. I actually went to
They
SEMA with
interact
him.
with the content and stuff all the time.
I went to SEMA with him at 22. That was a crazy trip.
Oh yeah.
I loved it. Shout out to him. I got I bought my ticket, I want to say 10 hours before the flight left. And I had no place to stay, no entrance to SEMA. Chris hooked it up.
That's kind of how it was this year for me. I made everything happen last minute.
Those are always the funnest trips, though.
Oh yeah, it was great.
Love it.
Loved it. What event is that you're going through down there?
So I think it's the practice event for clutch kickers.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Okay. I wonder how that's gonna go. I thought it got canceled.
So it did. It was supposed to be last weekend, but we had like a snowstorm. And
Yeah.
So they canceled it. They postponed it to the 25th.
Oh,
it's a
well, at
2-day
least
event.
they rescheduled it. That's good.
Yeah.
How do you think? Oh shit. Well, you've never been. You know the size of it though, right?
Though at the track?
Yeah, like how small it is, I guess.
I've seen some videos.
Yeah.
I can't remember what we were talking about now. It was
Okay, yes.
the FD.
Sorry, guys.
Going into FD, or why I would want to do that. I mean, yeah, it's a lot of money for fun, but I mean, if I can afford it, I'll go for it. And then I also wanted to get like the competition experience because I haven't done a actual competition yet. So I've been fun days but I mean,
man, I would still say that like just not chasing FD, you could still do that.
Yeah, that's true. But
unless you're just like wanting to prove it to yourself.
The thing is, over there in South Florida,
that it's just it seems like such a money pit just to get very little actual value out of it, other than just personal satisfaction. You know,
that's true.
I don't know. I just always bring that up to people because
there's no other competitions down there, not even for like fun. Like there was one that they used to do. I forgot who it was. I think Fellow was the one that would run the event. Yeah, and it was, you know, it was a fun thing.
Now.
What was that?
You got plenty in Atlanta.
I know that.
You're good now.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. The drift scene in Atlanta I heard is insane. And plus, if I'm not wrong,
especially up at Lanier.
Yeah, Lanier.
And you got Nappy Boy and all them in town now and stuff. It's up to Atlanta scene's growing. That's big time.
I've actually been coming out to Atlanta for drift events since like 2020. Every year I go to FD Atlanta, and the crowd always gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Speaking of FD Atlanta. What do you think about Grid Life this year?
I've already contacted them. I'm trying to see if I could drive the event. I'd love to. I talked to Lewis to see if by any chance he wanted to do like a Zeknova tire sponsor for them. But that depends on budget.
Yeah, I totally feel that.
That'll be dope to be able to do. And then actually, since I'm going to be bringing Zeknovas to Atlanta, I was gonna see if I could provide it for some of the drivers there that are drifting.
It might be a little hard just because of race treads, or is it race treads? What is it now? I think it's race treads. You know what I'm talking about? Just be tire stacks or whatever. Oh well, I'm pretty sure they have a deal with Grid Life. At least they did last year, to have tire changers and tires and stuff available. So might be a little hard. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
because that's a good.
So the people I've never driven Grid Life, but do they have to buy their tires from those people? No. So there are some people in Atlanta area that are running Zeknovas.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, like being able to do that alongside of race treads, I don't think
I doubt that's
you'll
gonna
be able
happen.
to do that.
Yeah.
They've built a pretty good relationship so far, but I mean, it's always possible. I would love to see it, Lewis.
But if not, I mean, they will be able to get tires off of me. I'm supposed to be hopefully be getting my first shipment in sometime in February. That's the plan.
Yeah,
But nothing's 100% set in stone on shipment date.
sick, dude. That's gonna be cool. I may have to order some from you because you'll be closer.
Yeah.
I think. Well, where's the closest? He told me, but I don't.
So
I don't remember.
he has in Texas, the main warehouse.
Texas, yes, I remember that
Texas,
one. Texas is Maine.
Tampa.
Now Florida with Drift HQ too.
Drift HQ is another
Yeah.
one that is going to be able to sell tires.
Yeah, that's wild, dude. When I saw that get posted, I was like, "That's a pretty killer move for Drift HQ. For one, Drift HQ, but for Lewis, big time. That's
100%.
a huge move. So big shout out to that. Well, so we keep going off the rails. Anyways, so when you first got into drifting, though, wasn't it a 350Z? Was like the first actual drift car you got?
Yeah, it was a 350Z that I got for a killer deal.
Yeah.
The guy couldn't figure out what was wrong with the car. It was completely disassembled in the inside. The guy, I turned the car on in front of him after I said the deal. The guy almost cried.
Oh,
You won't even believe what
I
it
would've felt
was.
so bad.
The whole interior was taken apart. He thought it was electrical. He changed everything on that car. You want to know what it was? The little button behind the clutch pedal to let the ECU know.
Oh no! The clutch safety switch.
Yep. So we were looking at
Those things are terrible on Z's.
Well, so here's the thing. It was still on the floor. That's how I noticed.
Oh, it just like broke off.
And it was on the floor still.
So when you pressed it, it still worked.
So
you
what
have
I
to get a
think-
new one.
No, I just glued a penny to the back.
Love
I think I glued like 2 pennies. So the story with the car was, it was an older guy that owned it. He had like a bunch of stuff done to the motor. Well, not to the motor, but like full bolt-ons, bore leg exhaust. There was money into it.
Yeah.
Paint was bad because it sat for 2 years. Then this guy that I got it off of bought it for him, trying to fix it, couldn't fix it. I got the car for $2,200. Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's how
he didn't even want to sell the car. Like his wife was making him. His wife, so he had it up. I think
poor guy.
I think he had it up for 3. Got him down to 25. I got there, saw the car disassembled. I was like, oh, using this to my advantage.
Yep.
So we're looking at the car, and I'm like, man, this could be a puzzle. And then I'm like, I don't know if I want to really do it. And I take one last look in the driver's side, and I see it on the floor. I call my brother, like, yo, come here. So he looks at it, and I'm like, there's 2 things we could do right now. We can buy it right now and run the risk of that's the issue, or just walk away from it. And he asked me, he was like, well, what do you want to do? This is your money. I was like, man, I think I want to risk it.
Yeah, you damn right.
So the guy, I had him at 25 already, and I told him, I was like, listen, man, I don't really know what I'm going to get myself into. Car's disassembled. I don't know what's missing. This is a puzzle.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll give you $2,200 right now. His wife looks at him. He goes, sell it. The guy who's like, give me a second.
dude, that
walks in the
sucks.
house, talks to his wife, comes back out like 5 minutes later. And the wife comes out, arms crossed, pissed off. He was like, all right, man, it's yours. So I gave him the money, signed the title. I was like, listen, I'm going to be right back. I'm going to go to the gas station. Just give me like 5 minutes, all right? I'm going to take the title with me, leave the car here. I'm going to call a tow truck too. I went to the 7-Eleven, bought super glue, glued 2 pennies, put it to the back of the pedal, pushed the pedal, vroom, started right up.
Yep.
That guy's
Damn, that
face,
sucks.
that guy's face was like, damn.
I would have been heartbroken.
He
was my
definitely
car.
looked heartbroken.
Oh man. Hopefully he buys another Z one day.
I don't know what he ever did. I never got it. I never spoke with him
Essentially
again.
the same thing. The dude that got me into drifting, almost identical situation, except it wasn't quite as simple. The dude, you could visibly hear a rattle from the engine bay. So the dude thought he had blown the motor. He thought he had rod knock on it. And so he gets the car, doesn't even mess with it there. Paid $2,000 for it. So almost identical price. Brings it home. We're sitting in the shop with it. and he's pulling valve covers off because he hears it from the top end, just this little rattle. And then once he gets the valve cover off, he shakes the cam caps, and he gets to like the third one, and it's loose as fuck. He was like, "There's no way that's the only issue." Tightens it back down, perfect car. It's like, dude, how do you get this fucking lucky?
Those are marketplace finds.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. Because I've got an FC out there that I can't get started for shit. But it's
Still-
probably because bad apex seals. But
Still a rotary.
yeah, it's literally everything stock. 113,000 miles.
I love the way they sound, but man, those things.
Yeah, I know.
I've always been told down south. I was like, listen, if you don't know a good Puerto Rican to work on them, don't buy them.
That's so true, though.
Hey, listen, they know what they're doing.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. One day I'll mess with it. This is like one of my dream cars, though. So
What are the brothers that work with the rotors? They did Adam's Supra.
Oh, Jarvis and fuck. I forgot. I don't know. Anyways, I know you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
those. Listen,
they're
if I ever decide to get into it, first pocket's gotta be ready because I know it's. Yeah, so
That's why I still said
that's why I'll hit up. That's why
I'm
I'll
like,
hit
do
up.
I just swap it? It seems cheaper.
Probably.
Even like, and no, not LS. Grow up. Not doing that. I honestly, actually, I'm not gonna say that. That's gonna get me in trouble on the internet. When it happens, if it happens, you can be mad at me then.
Can't
But
swap it.
If I'm not just gonna talk about it and you get mad at me. Okay, well, so essentially, let's jump back on track here. I'm terrible at this.
No, or me either. I'm the same. Like I'm the same way.
Dude, it's like a squirrel brain over here. OSW. So is that essentially like where you've gotten most of your seat time? Pretty much.
I used to drive a lot at West Palm Beach before it shut down. That was like my
Gotcha.
main source.
Okay.
I was like an hour and a half away from home. But after that, I kind of did a lot of Sebring,
Mm-hmm.
but I've done maybe like 6 or 7 private days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I used to just host them myself. Like I'd rent out the track, find the drivers at OSW.
How much was that costing you?
$1,600, but it was
Bad.
yeah, and you can have up to 16 drivers. I don't know what prices are right now.
Mm.
I haven't rented it out myself recently, but it was $1,600 for 5 hours, and you could have 16 drivers.
Hell
it's
yeah.
$100 a person.
There's just infinite seat time too.
It's insane.
With that little of drivers. Oh my god.
With the 350Z, I used to hot lap it nonstop.
Oh, I did too. Whenever
was-
it was stock, oh my god, I beat the brakes off of my car.
I don't know how that car didn't the motor didn't get destroyed because I barely did anything to that car. Like the
Same.
first time I
No
did
catch
maintenance.
can, no nothing. Who
Oh no,
needs
I
it?
had none of that.
Yeah.
So that car was actually interesting. It was making 272. It had full bolt-ons, like I said. But that's all it really had. Besides that, I drove it for like almost 3 years with just a GK Tech adapter kit and my e-brake.
Oh, wow.
my
So simple.
No, and my e-brake was a BMX bike handlebar that I cut down the middle, and I put it on the e-brake with hose clamps and an Allen key
I
to
love
keep
that, dude. That's so cool.
the Allen key was actually I had it there to like keep the button in place. So if I ever actually wanted to use it, I would just move the Allen key and just actually use my handbrake.
What the fuck?
But yeah, stock suspension.
Innovative.
Yeah, and then I got to do like 1 or 2 events with a FDF kit, still stock suspension. I don't know how they told me that it wasn't possible. We made it happen. With the FDF.
You got it to fit?
Yeah, with Mantis kit.
Wow.
Not the Mega Mantis, just the regular Mantis.
Still.
No.
How the fuck?
Yeah. In the back, I didn't even have tow arms, camber arms, nothing. That car was stock.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long did you drive it like that?
About 3 years.
No way.
Yeah. That's why, like,
Dude, I know I say all the time, like, keep your car as simple as possible for as long as possible. But damn, that's a long time.
I was on a budget, you know, like I said, I started off at 19, fresh out of high school. And
Yeah.
at the time I
Where
wasn't.
were you working?
So at that time I was actually working at a place called Brandsmart. That's
the
like
fuck is that?
another Best Buy. There's only a handful of them.
Okay, that makes sense.
But yeah, I was working there, making a little bit of commission, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't start at a dealership until like want to say like really like end of 2020 or 2021. It was kind of like around COVID time, right before it started. I got to work at a Volkswagen dealership as a service advisor for like maybe 9 months, and then
Plenty of work to do there.
yeah, no, yeah. Oh, yeah. Just keep in mind that was the last place.
How many of you did that fly over your head for a second?
That was the last place I applied.
Mm-hmm.
I went to 12 other dealerships applying. That was the last one because it was right next to my house.
Ah, damn.
And the crazy thing is, I didn't even go for the Volkswagen. I went for Nissan because they have a Nissan dealership right next door, but they're owned by the same people. So I went into Nissan and they were like, no, we don't need anybody here, but Volkswagen does. So I was like, I guess I'll give it a shot.
Fuck it.
Hey, but you know what's the good thing about it though? They run a lot of low profile tires because of the GTIs and all that stuff.
That's true, yeah.
So I was getting a lot of 18s, so it worked out. You know?
Hey, win some, you lose some. I love that. All right. So given you did run such a simple setup for so long, what do you think the benefit of running a setup so simple when you first start is? Like, why is that so beneficial?
I feel like you learn more like that with a stock car because you can't throw in as much angle, so you don't rely on the angle to save you. The hydro could be a bad habit. So really the only time I was using it was like small little corrections. I couldn't even use it to like entry, like on an entry. Yeah. I couldn't use it because it wouldn't lock up unless the car was already sideways. That's the only time it'll work.
Yeah,
so
the Z handbrakes are hot garbage.
So I tightened them all the way up and still nothing.
Yeah.
But it'll only work if I flick the car. Like when I flick the car and I already broke traction in the rear, I pull it and it'll actually work.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Huh.
It never locked up for me. Like just on a straightaway, it would never lock up.
Damn. So you never put a handbrake on it like at all?
For the last event. When I put the Mantis kit on, I did one event and then I had a hydro for the following one, which was the last one.
Gotcha. I bet you still barely even used it.
On chase. Right now, the only time I'll do it is like when I'm chasing, but like with close proximity.
Yeah.
But other than that, I try not to use it.
Hell yeah. God, I started off with I won't say as bare as it gets, but fairly bare. But I did have a handbrake, and I do agree that stunted how I should have learned by having it when I should have just not. I should have waited and just tried to drive the car the way it was.
So with the IS, when I would do like just random corners, like try and drift it, I would pull the e-brake up. Because the e-brake on the IS300 works great, and it is a 5-speed too. So it was, and another thing about those cars, the factory angle is actually pretty good. So that was a fun car to drive until I stretched the cable, and then a couple months later,
I finally got a handbrake to use. I'm making the shit out of this.
Oh man, that was fun, especially in the rain. I had some times. It was fun.
Well, did you ever use sim or anything to learn before like jumping into a real car?
Straight controller.
Really?
I played on controller since like Forza 2, which I think was like 2007.
Fuck those video games.
Up until like Forza 7, and I played Forza 7 for like a couple years. But I was always on the controller. I didn't get a sim up until about middle of 22. And even still, it wasn't anything crazy. Yeah. But
so it hasn't like helped any progression or anything just by using the sim now?
So yeah, it has actually. So like another thing, like creating bad habits, with the hydro. The sim it could go both ways. It could either create bad habits or help you fix them. Yeah. In that case, I would just practice trying not to use it.
Yeah, that's literally what I do.
One thing it helped me out a lot with was left foot braking, because I could never left foot brake.
Well, for me, I never had the opportunity to try it because of the Z's. I never put the switch or anything in it, because even if you put the switch, because for anyone that doesn't understand what I'm saying, the 350Zs, I think obviously G35s, does the 370 do that too?
Yeah, the 370 has a switch.
Okay, so it's all ran to the rear brake lights. So if you're on throttle and then try and left foot brake, it just wants to kill the car and go into limp mode. Blah, blah, blah. And you have to cut that connection to the rear brakes. And then, of course, you get that. The people say you can cut pin 101. Shit didn't work for me, so I don't know what you're talking about.
I had it cut on the 350Z.
Yeah, I did too, and it never worked. Never, I still left foot brake and it would bog the shit out
Maybe
of the
it could
car. I
be
had every
certain
sensor
models.
out. I had everything done to it. I don't fucking know. Had other people with '03 base models and they never had an issue. I don't know.
I had an '03 Touring.
So I never did the switch just because I didn't want to lose brake lights. So I never had the opportunity to left foot brake and chase. So I had to resort to the whole handbrake method all the time. And yeah, that's like the one thing that sim has actually taught me is proper left foot braking.
Another thing I actually did is it's actually going to sound a little weird, but just driving in regular traffic, I would use my left foot to brake, and it helps you.
Oh yeah. I do that. I've done that. Yeah, just to get that soft touch feeling.
Yeah, because before I try and left foot brake just in regular traffic, I'm jerking.
Yep.
But it actually helps out.
Wheel.
It helps out.
So funny. Okay, so what is like your I know we talked a little bit before we came and sat down because I framed up out of wood my own sim rig essentially, and you said you did kind of the same concept.
I want to do the same concept.
Okay.
Something similar, or actually create. So I have a spare IS300 dash, and I've been wanting to like do
That's
the whole
what I really wanted
thing.
to do, but then I started like mapping it out on how I could do it, and then of course I didn't want to buy another dash or anything, but it's a little more complicated than you think. So props to those guys that build those. You guys do really good.
There's actually one for sale in Atlanta, but it's a Mustang dash. Like
I'm sure you just easily swap it.
Yeah, but then the problem there is the like the bolt points, like on like where it's gonna be held with the IS300 dash, and then swapping it over to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can make it work. You got it.
I don't know.
Same thing as modifying a car, right?
I think I'd rather modify the car first.
You ain't done enough modifications then. Dude, doing it. Anyways, never mind. I won't go down that rabbit hole. Have you tried VR yet?
I have before.
Okay. So what is your opinion on VR versus, say, a 3-monitor setup, and why?
So I have a 3-monitor setup, but it was a little bit too complicated for me because I could never get the monitors to like sit nice and flush with each other, like at level. It's probably got to be something with the tripods to hold them, but I would actually just play on one. Like I shut the other two off, just play off the middle one.
The middle, yeah.
But with the VR one, it's insane. Like I think I would rather it like that, just because of the fact that, you know, it's really with your head movement, you know? So like that's how you can look, instead of like with the 3 monitors, I could just look to the right, look to the left type of thing. And that's about it. It feels a little bit more real, but then again, some people do get very nauseous.
Dude, I'm beyond jealous of anyone that can use VR because I can't. I've gotten, up to like 10 minutes on the sim with a VR, and then I'm like, get the fuck out of my way. I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm about to fucking puke my brains out.
So I never had that issue. The first time I ever, you know, tried out a VR, I was on it for like an hour, and I didn't have that issue. Yeah.
No, I've got it. Like, I will say the one thing that helped was having a fan blowing on me. You have a little bit of wind, kind of gives somewhat of a different feeling that matches the VR. But even then, man, like, you get the major case of the sweat. Oh,
forehead does get sweaty.
20 minutes on there, and you get up, and you got swamp ass, you know, your fucking forehead's drenched. You got sweat rolling in your eyes because it's all been ringed up around the headset.
Yeah. And then the mark that looks like you fell asleep in school. And so you got to give it like about 20 minutes before you go back out in public.
Yeah. If you could say to anyone like what you think is the most beneficial part of a sim and why someone should get one if they're looking to get into drifting, what would that be?
So it's a cheap way to practice. You're not wasting tires. You know, me personally, I had a time period where I didn't drift for a whole year. And during that year, the way I could still stay somewhat like, you know, keep the same driving was just doing on the sim because I couldn't afford it. Obviously with driving the actual car, I wasn't working for like 9 months.
Right.
So I just stuck to the sim, and, you know, it helped me out, you know, still keep the same, like, what's the word?
Consistency?
I guess you could say consistency. And it actually helped me out because the first event after doing like that whole year of just sim driving, man, I was like, damn, what a difference.
Yeah.
Um,
Dude, I feel you. I've tried hopping on for like at least 10, 15 minutes a day just to get that little bit of seat time in and practice. And like, I'll hop out from the sessions every once in a while and be like, dude, I'm ready to go drive the real car, man. Holy shit. I feel like I just learned so much.
and the
So,
good
like,
thing about
even-
it is,
yeah, after years, you can still just keep learning shit. I'm hitting everything right now.
so,
Disaster.
and then another thing, if you're a beginner and you want to get into like tandeming,
Mm-hmm.
that's where you can go and, you know, make those mistakes. Like if you hit the other car, it's a game. You know, you can't
Yeah.
just hit respawn on
You'll
your
piss
real
somebody
car.
off.
Yeah, but you know,
Have you tried the AI?
yes, I actually have.
That alone has been one of the best things about the sim to me. Because, like, there's some times where I'll go into a lobby and people are just pissing me the fuck off the way they're driving. I'm like, you drive too damn slow. I'm tired of standing on the left foot brake. And then you got that one dude that's like, you're right here, and he just keeps dive bombing in front of you. And I'm like, dude, come on. And then, or the guy that just keeps fucking smacking you. It's like not even a door tap. They just keep trying to plow you over. I'm like, man, I don't want nothing to do with this. So I'm going to drive the AI for a minute.
I would say with the slow drivers, it can help out because you're not always going to have a fast car that you're
Oh, I
chasing.
know.
So that...
But the AI drivers are slow. So, like, I get enough of that practice if I want to.
That's true.
So,
But
I need someone that I can, like,
My thing on
fuck up
Aceto
a
is
little bit more in front
my
of me.
main tracks, North Course and Englishtown.
Dude, Compression Canyon. Did you try that yet?
No, I haven't.
It just
So-
dropped yesterday.
So unfortunately, I'm having some issues with the PC and I can't get internet on it right now. Because back at home in Miami, I would just run an Ethernet cable. So I don't have a Wi-Fi card on the PC. So I'm about to order that and then that way I can have it. Because
Yeah,
right now it's
do
on the
that.
second floor of the house. My modem's in the first floor. So I don't want to have a
Do you have
cord
another
run through-
computer?
For what? Like I just
Just like any other computer.
I have my PC and then I have my Mac. Like a laptop.
Just download the file onto a USB drive and then plug that into the PC.
Oh, that's
and then
right.
just transfer the file onto the game. You don't need internet to download the file. And you can still drive the track.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
I don't. You see, I don't know too much about computers like that. So
That's
This-
that's just
I've never really been big on computers and stuff like that. You know,
that's
but
improvising, baby.
the only thing I know how to do, like for example, my Mac. The only reason I have it is to edit YouTube videos. That's it. That's all I
That's
do.
crazy. You use Final Cut for that?
No,
You should, since you have Mac.
I use CapCut. I used to do a lot with iMovie, and then I started using CapCut. But like
Yeah, CapCut's really good, like free software for anyone out there that does want to make like, you know, YouTube videos or car content, driving content, anything like that. CapCut is extremely simple, user friendly, and there's a fucking free version.
nah, it's pretty good. I do a lot of editing on it. I even edit on my phone sometimes.
I spend like $100 a month on editing softwares.
Jeez.
Yeah, I have the whole Adobe suite, dude. I don't know how we keep getting off topic so bad, but this is totally fine.
I'm not diagnosed, but I say I have ADHD and I can't focus on one thing. So I will
You'll never
drift
hear
off
me
to it.
say I have ADHD, but I guarantee you. Anyways,
Oh man. But yeah, that's all I do on the laptop.
hell yeah,
And the PC is strictly just for Aceto.
yeah. Well, you ought to try. I mean, I know it's just a Logitech that I have, but if you want to try the Compression Canyon, you can.
I might have to test
Yeah,
that.
you can jump online if you want. Dude, it's really cool. Like, did you watch the video of it? Did you see the?
I think I
video
did.
at all?
Is that the one with BC?
Yeah. It's the second track that BC came out with. Because they had the training facility first, that was really cool. Because it's technically like 3 tracks in that one.
I haven't tested out either one yet.
Dude, what?
Yeah, no,
Oh,
I've been
we can
slacking.
try out both after this real quick.
I've been slacking.
Man, shout out Cody for that. I know you've been working your ass off, dude. They came out incredible. If you have not tried them, try them. Well, how did you end up in the 370Z in the first place? I know we mentioned you had it, but
So I wanted to, like I said, I wanted to go do Pro-Am, and this car already had a lot of stuff done to it. One day, jokingly, I told Lewis, I was like, man, just sell me the 370Z so I can, save some money. I know I'm going to still have to do some stuff to pass safety. like the tech. But sell me the car. How much would you sell it to me? He was like, this was at the time where he had his first Corvette, the red one. He wasn't really paying too much mind to it. He was like, I wouldn't sell it. I don't really want to sell it, but if it's to you, I'll sell it to you. And I don't know, price?
Yeah, say it.
Paid $15,000 for the car. Full roll cage, wise fab,
It's done.
ISR arms,
I'd say
silver
it's worth
suspension.
15.
Yeah, I gotta swap out suspension though, because he was attempting to do 100-mile-per-hour entry at Sebring. Wheel came
Holy
off,
shit.
bent I think it's the left side coil over a little bit. Plus, I want to refresh the car up a bit too.
What coilovers did you say were on
It's
it?
silvers.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really making over, I would say about 400 horsepower. You really have to start dialing in suspension a lot more than you think. Because then, well, I mean, I guess even with lower horsepower, just not having the right suspension setup, alignment settings and fucking everything. And the way the geometry works per car. Like, dude, there's so much crap. Thank God for Josiah. I'm just going to say that. The little, like, car things that he made, stupid cool. Makes
Josiah
things so much
from
easier
FDF?
for Ackerman. Yeah. For Ackerman and everything like that. And then just the simple videos that he makes of just explaining half this stuff that I would never in my life know. Half of it, I feel like I can still hardly understand because I'm just not that smart. But it's there.
It's a
for
lot.
the people that are smart enough. It'll help them.
For me, honestly, I would rely a lot on my brother because he was a technician. He was more hands-on. I tried learning
Lucky
and doing
bastard.
other stuff, but man, I couldn't pick it up. I don't know what it is. I mean, I defend myself. If I got to do something, I'm gonna do it. But it's gonna take me a while. Him, I knew he would do it quick. He knows what he's doing, so I would rely on him. And then,
Worst case.
yeah. So if anything ever happened, he was really the one that was doing my main work for the car. Simple stuff, I'll take care of it.
Yeah.
But like right now, since I just moved out here and I don't really have anybody up in Atlanta that I know, I really want to start learning like how to do like track alignments, like using the plates, the toe plates, and doing stuff like that. To make small adjustments, to
Shitload of videos on that.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
So I gotta
Still
sit
learn
there,
that.
watch some videos, but like I said, man, I can't really focus too well. I'll be watching the video and then I'm like, damn, I settle.
Alignments are the one thing that I'm like, I would rather just have someone else do it. I got a buddy in Smyrna. By the way, if you are in Middle Tennessee, Limitless Cuts and Auto, they're very low car friendly. If you need an alignment, they have special ramps made for their alignment rack, so you're good. But yeah, I won't. I'm just like, I'll get some toe plates so that I can mess with toe, but I'm not going any further than that.
The thing is, like, let's say you're at the track and you mess up a control arm and you have a spare. Throw it on there, you're gonna have to make some adjustments.
Well, yeah.
So in order to be able to continue driving, I gotta learn how to do
eyeball
the
shit out of it. Make sure the camera's relatively right with my iPhone, and then I can check the toe with the toe plates, and that's it.
So
Truthfully, my setup is more for trying to make it fit than like trying to get the best drivability out of it. Like, I don't have amazing specs on my FDF kit. It's probably should not. I'm probably pushing the max amount of camber that I can out of that kit. But like, it looks cool. I don't know. Still drives good. Whatever.
If that's what you want, if you wanted it to look good, then.
But I'm not doing comps and stuff.
Exactly.
So, like, I don't really give a fuck.
There's no point on having a crazy gripped up setup.
Yeah.
Because, like, for example, like me, the car looks decent, but I needed to have that aggressive alignment so I could be able to keep up with some of these guys. Because I don't know how now in Atlanta, but down there you got people like Savio, Lewis, Henry.
You still got some heavy hitters in Atlanta.
I'm sure I'm gonna run into them, but over there everybody's running 450, 600, 800 horsepower. I'm in a VQ that on a good day I'm probably making 300. So. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about drifting as well. You don't really need to have the same amount of power to keep up like in drag racing. Yeah. As long as you have a good alignment and you're a good driver, you'll be able to keep up.
Damn right. Hell yeah. Well, I want to ask, sorry to jump topics, but I want to ask about this whole stunt driving thing that you got going on here. So, obviously, a just driving a drift car doesn't just land you a stunt driving gig. So how did this fall into your lap?
So back before I was able to drive, I used to ride ATVs.
Okay,
And then
cool.
I have a friend of mine that his name is Frankie, and Frankie is, I guess you could say, Instagram famous for like street riding, you know, doing wheelies,
Hell
stuff
yeah.
like that. So he had a connect where they would need motorcycles for like music videos and stuff like that.
Mhm.
One day he needed an extra rider. He was like, listen, I got the bike, you know, just come pick up the bike, go do a music video shoot. I'll shoot you some money.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, all right. I got that. He started calling me for more videos. I started meeting people. You know, my thing is, it's not about what you know, but who you know. So
Right.
I did a lot of networking, and I ended up working with the same company that he does, Risky Business, out in Miami.
I've heard
And
of that. It sounds familiar.
but yeah, I started working with him, and you know, one day I was at work, and he gives me a call. He was like, "Hey, listen, I just got contacted by some people from Atlanta.
Mhm.
Bad Boys is coming to town, and they need some extra drivers. You down for it?" I was like, "Hell yeah! You don't have to tell me twice. Just tell me the dates, and I'm gonna get them off." Luckily, my manager was a friend of mine since I was like 8.
That's cool.
So, you know, I got the days off and the PTO. So, yeah, I went and drove in Bad Boys. I didn't do anything crazy. So you have 3 different levels. You have your stunt drivers, you have your precision drivers, and then you have your background cars.
Which Bad Boys was this too?
The last one, Ride or Die.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. So I didn't get to do any crazy stunts. All I did was I was a precision driver. You see the car I'm driving in the background. But like I mentioned, there's background cars. Those are the cars that are way back there.
Yeah, yeah.
Me, I have the stunt drivers driving through me. You know, I have the big cameras, the
Yeah.
cars with the cranes, all that stuff. So I got to do that. And from there, it started to kind of like take off for me. I got a couple more gigs after that. And that's actually why I moved to Atlanta, to go from being a precision driver to hopefully a stunt driver.
Yeah. And so, okay, because you mentioned training for the police too. Then that was all like during the time of getting
So-
that first gig?
Yeah, so when I got that one,
Okay.
because I had done music videos in the past, I've done probably like 12 music videos for a bunch of mainstream artists.
Yeah.
And then that would be, I guess you can say that was more like stunt driving, where, you know, I'm doing donuts around an artist, or, you know, just drifting ATV, stuff like that. But with Bad Boys, it was, I don't know, it was kind of like, it was random, but that got me in the door, because
Yeah.
the person that was in charge of us, like my like team of drivers, she works out in Atlanta, and she was like, listen, after the movie got done being recorded, she was like, listen, I like your work ethic. You know, you seem like you know what you're doing. You're very passionate about it. I can tell you're not here like some of the other people that are here just for a check or to say they're on the movie. You're
Yeah.
here because you see, you know, it seems like a passion of yours.
Mhm.
So she was like, if you're willing to relocate, would you be able to come up to, if you come up to Atlanta, I'll go ahead and have you as part of my team.
That's super cool.
So here's the thing. When I got that, I was doing the process for the police academy, because I always said, as a younger kid, I remember. Yeah.
Done.
So since I was like 4, I always wanted to be a police officer. As I got older, I wanted to become a detective. And I had an offer from a city to become a police officer. And then if I did good, within the 2 years, they'll promote me to being a detective. So I started the process, but I was right before, like, I have to pay for the tuition.
Gotcha.
Tuition is like $10,000 for that. They would pay for it, but I had to go be like a service aide for a year, and then they'll pay for it. But I was like, nah, I'm just gonna pay for I'm gonna pay the 10 grand.
Yeah.
That way I can just get going right away. So I was doing that process, and she made me that offer, and I was like, I always wanted to either be a cop or work in like the movie industry. You know, growing up watching Fast and the Furious, you know, seeing the Civics going to the semi, the Charger flipping when it hits the semi truck, you know, that type of stuff is like, damn, I want to do that. But growing up, you know, you never think you're really going to have an opportunity like that.
Yeah, it seems so far-fetched.
Exactly. So the more realistic career was being a police officer, moving up to a detective.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Damn. Okay.
that's how that came about.
Well, I don't know if you saw this episode, but Wyatt Tipton that I had on, He was a stunt rider in like California and stuff. He now lives in Atlanta. But he's done that like his whole life growing up. So it is pretty cool, and it's like a unique avenue and like career choice for people to do, because it does pay fairly well.
It is.
Once
And it's
you start
actually a
getting
union
higher
job.
up. Is it really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So right now,
I don't think his was.
once you get into like the bigger jobs, like crashing cars or like if your face is on camera,
yeah,
you have to be part of union. So with that,
Wow.
and with being part of union, you're paying increases too.
yeah.
So right now I get like a regular pay rate. Once you join union, prices go up.
That's really cool. I didn't know that at all.
Yeah, so it's easier to join that here than in South Florida, because there isn't much, stuff being shot down there except for music videos.
Right.
Like for example,
right.
Bad Boys was only there for 2 weeks, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of it was shot in Atlanta.
Gotcha. Okay.
Now they go for like the main scenes, like going over the Causeway Bridge or
Yeah.
at the Fort Lauderdale Beach,
Mm.
stuff like that. But
Hell yeah.
it's easier out here.
Dude, that's so. How you even get into the industry? I would never even, just like you said, like it's something that's so unattainable or feels unattainable growing up. I would never even think on how to even get into that industry.
Back to what I said, it's not about what you know, but who you know.
Exactly. I would have said the same thing about this industry, 8 years ago or whatever it was. But yeah. So is that so? Like that's the only like big movie that you've done?
Yeah. So
in the recent months or whatever.
Yeah. So that's my first movie that I did, and first and only so far. I do have word for one coming up. I can't really talk about that.
Mm-hmm. Do you know the name of the movies as you're doing them or before?
So yeah, they told me.
You do know,
and they told me the one that's coming up as well, but it's been delayed already like twice.
Yeah.
So it's not 100% set in stone, because there was a whole thing going on in Hollywood where stuff had to be signed and like contracts renewed and stuff.
Right.
So stuff actually is supposed to start, like movies are supposed to start, recording now this year. That's why it actually took me so long to move to Atlanta. I got the offer back in like May or April, around there, and then I just moved up here now because she gave me the heads up. She was like, listen, the industry is going to be slow, these next couple of months. December 31st, everything's supposed to be set in stone. Then it'll start picking back up in January, February.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, Wyatt always said like for a lot of the very high ticket movies, like big movies, they wouldn't even tell them what the actual name of it. It would be named something different so that you wouldn't like know, or they could keep things secret and stuff like that. So I was always curious if that's like the entire industry that does that, or if it's just specific.
So I know that,
or whatever.
I don't know if I was supposed to know, but I was told. And like for example, this movie coming up, I'm not sure if I was supposed to know, but I was told.
Yeah.
So, but then again, that's why I can't really talk about it, because I'm not sure. There's nothing about it, out there saying this is going to be recorded. So, I mean, that's just really the way I was told. But with the movie, that's another thing. When we were shooting the movie down in Miami, when people would come up, because you do have random, regular people coming up asking, hey, what are you guys recording? We told them a different name, But when, there would be like the scenes that are being shot with like Martin Lawrence and, Will Smith, you kind of piece it,
Yeah, it's not, you can guess yourself. You can put two and two together at that point. That's fine.
But yeah, while you're recording, you're not supposed to tell them what movie it is.
Dude, it's such a unique industry, man. What was like, I guess the process, not just the process of recording, but like the unusual shit that people wouldn't necessarily think of. You're sitting there in a car for an hour waiting for your scene.
That does happen.
Stuff like that. Or, some fucking famous dude did something funny or some shit that you wouldn't expect out of him.
A lot of that happened. So every day I was there between 4:30 to like 5:30 in the morning. Mm-hmm. You had to be there. You go through safety meetings, they talk, they tell you a little bit of what you're going to be shooting, like the different scenes. And then, as you're shooting, you have like points. So pretty much like you have your 1, which is your first mark of the scene. Mm-hmm. So you have to like visually look to the sides, find something to remind you, all right, this is where I was at. All right, because you'll shoot. All right, go back to your one. So you got to go back to that exact same place. But another thing, like for example, you said like famous people. There was this one guy that's TikTok famous. He doesn't talk. He's just the guy that goes like, hmm?
Oh yeah, I know
So
about.
he comes out in the movie, you know, in a scene. So you just see him there. He's just like, hmm. So you had that. You had like DJ Khaled show up. You had Fat
so
Joe.
random.
Yeah, it's random, but I mean it's cool. Like that's why I love it so much. Like it's a job that doesn't feel like a job. You know, it's a cool industry to be in.
Yeah.
That's why I'm
Once
like,
you experience something like that too, like it almost, because like you were saying, you were going the easy route as being a police officer or whatever. It literally flips your entire perspective of essentially what a career could even be.
correct.
Too. So I would have I've learned so much in the last year of how different ways that I can make money that I never even thought was real, but you can. Like
Yeah,
the industries just hide their secrets.
there's money everywhere. There's jobs people would never think exist. But, you know, if you find your way into it, you can join it. You just got to work towards it
Yeah.
and do your research, see how it works. And plus another thing about the movie industry, you know, you're a little spoiled while you're on set. You get everything.
Really?
They have carts with foods. They cater food for you.
That's pretty cool.
It's just an awesome experience. It's an awesome industry to be a part of.
Hell yeah.
I look forward to be able to do some more bigger stuff and even do some traveling, because that's another thing. They can send you away overseas, like Europe. I was
That's
told
crazy.
somebody that was a driver in Bad Boys. She actually did some actual stunt driving. She went, I think it was to like Europe for like 4 months for a movie, and it's like you get to do cool stuff like that. You know, you're traveling the world because of your job and having fun.
Damn right.
That's the goal.
Well, speaking of that then, at the lower level to start off, what is like an expected pay or salary, or like how does the pay system even work for stuff like that?
It all depends on what you're doing. You know, it could be like, for example, in the movie industry, not in the movie industry, in the music video industry. You know, if you're just a background writer, just doing normal stuff, like $200, $300 is at least what I got paid.
For like a day?
Yeah.
Okay.
It all really depends on budget that they give you. And then your company, like if I started off being middleman, then I got in the actual working with the actual company. But
Well, let me ask you this. At the lowest level possible, what that would be, I would assume like the $200 range of what you would
I've
make
even
per
done a
day?
music video for free.
Well,
just to-
okay, well,
but,
yeah.
you know, but when
you know
you're
what I
actually
mean,
getting
like
paid,
an actual contracted gig, so on and so forth.
about like $300.
To like, what would the highest then be that you've seen or heard or believe?
So I've been told that when you flip a car, like you have to crash a car, flip it, do stuff like that. It's big money. It can range. I've been told even $15,000 to $20,000 just for that.
For like one scene?
I mean, it depends. If you nail it in the first take, congratulations.
Easiest 20 grand you ever made, baby.
I mean, you're gonna feel it for a little bit, but
Well,
Well,
I'm
they have
sure
proper
after a few of them, man, your body like gets used to stuff like that. And you can take impacts, dude. That's gotta be a thing.
well, there was a movie that it was a movie based on a stunt driver, a stunt performer.
Yeah.
They flipped a car like 7 or 8 times. It was a world record. Imagine that. I don't know what he got paid for that, but I can only imagine. You know, you're rolling a car over 7, 8 times,
At
and
that point,
it was
just
planned.
pay someone to build a robot.
So that's one thing.
Remote control the car.
That's one thing the industry doesn't like. So back in, I think it was 23, they had a strike because they were trying to use AI and to replace people's jobs. And this is a union job. So everybody went on strike.
Like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So they
Well,
don't,
then I'm for the people. Let's do
Yeah,
that.
'cause-
Yeah.
because
Keep them going.
you can get a computer to go and, you know, make it look like they're drifting around something,
Yeah.
you know, and use that for a movie. But
Yeah, well, I mean, we've seen Toyota do it with the Supras, the 2 autonomous cars. I don't know if you've seen that video, but it's 2 dudes in a sim rig, and they're driving an actual car and tandeming with each other.
they're just not in the car.
They're just not in the car.
Yeah, but no,
So-
they don't like this. They don't like AI, none of that, the computerized stuff, because it's like, for example, helicopters.
Just do it that way. We're like, well, no, that would still take away the value of it.
Yeah,
Like, because then you wouldn't get paid as much. Yeah. Okay, I see what
that's where the money's at. Doing big crashes and stuff like that. That's where, as a stunt performer, you're gonna make. A stunt driver, you're gonna make your big bucks.
That's so.
Because if you're just doing
wild,
regular driving, I mean, that's another thing. I don't know yet because I'm not union, but I was told that if you just do regular driving as a union driver, you can make up to like $2,000 a day. And that's for the first 8 hours. You do anything after 8 hours, you get time and a half. Yeah.
So fucking cool, dude. Okay, well, how has the move to Atlanta benefited all of this then? Like, other than it being like the reason for the job, like a job requirement, what has benefited just being in Atlanta physically?
So a lot more movies are shot here. There's a lot more production companies. I believe there's like 12 or 13 movie studios out here. You have main cities like Atlanta, New York, Los Angeles, and I believe there's somewhere in Texas. I don't know exactly what city in Texas. It's the main cities for movie productions. So
yeah.
You see a lot of stuff of Miami over there, like in movies. But they're just there for like certain little shots. Most of
it's for like
most of the movies are just shot somewhere else.
Of a hour and a half movie.
Not even that. There's been times like when Bad Boys, we shot a couple shots that we were there for hours. It's like 5 seconds worth of the movie. Yeah.
Damn.
Yep. But that's what you get paid for.
Oh my god. I'd love to see like the budget breakdown we'll just use Bad Boys as the example of like per second of the physical movie, how much money was spent on that 1 second.
And let me tell you something.
It's gotta be astronomical.
Shooting a movie takes it's a lot of people. You have from people making sure that I believe they're called PAs. They're making sure there's nobody in like the sidewalks, like regular pedestrians walking there. They're checking up on us, seeing if we're good, stuff like that. Then you have your stunt people, the drivers, you have your actors, you have your extras, just the people walking on the sidewalk. You have your camera crews, you have the lighting, you have drone, you have your FPV. There's just so many people involved in making a movie. It's insane.
Ridiculous, dude.
It definitely changes your perspective when you're watching a movie. Yeah. Because like for me now, ever since that, I look for certain things, to like see if I capture it. Like, oh look, there's a PA there, or it's I don't know.
Catch people in their grind.
Or like kind of like
it's so crazy because like obviously this is nowhere near the scale of anything like that, but it's just me here. It's just me. The cameras are just sitting on the wall. Well, not sitting on the wall, but like, and then you jump into something like that and it's like, oh my god, yeah, this is overwhelming.
It's insane. I mean, you see a drone with like a $30,000 camera just flying, taking off, insane. You have so many different types of cameras. You have the people on the ground, you have drone, you have the car with the crane, and then you have another one with a 360 view. So it's like I don't know what they're called, but it's one of those cars that they're small. They're like a one-seater, almost like 2 wheels in the front, one in the back, and they have 4 cameras, 1.4.
Oh, the like slingshot?
No, it's not a slingshot.
Oh.
It kind of looks like a slingshot, but it's not. It actually looks kind of like an older car. I don't know. I'll send you a picture so you can see kind of what it looks like. It looks like an older car, but it's brand new. They've got like 1.4 on boost engines. Like they sound great too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And those cars are like
That's wild.
So what those cars do is like they'll drive between us. So like for example, we used the movie for so like the Porsche, there's a scene where the Porsche is just cutting up through cars. Yeah. So to be able to get that view of like, it's the cameras on the side of the car and it's just, you see like it's passing through traffic. That's what those are meant for.
Okay. Yeah, I'd have to see it so I could like really picture it. But I think I know what you're talking about. Anyways, sorry.
You're good.
Well, this is a little twist that I think would be good for some of the viewers and you too, actually. So if there was one of those people that hire for that type of position, a stunt driver, watching right now, what would be, say, your 60-second elevator pitch to someone like that?
Well, that's the thing. That's
It's
difficult.
a little hard.
That's hard.
Depending on like movie or
Because
circumstance.
It all depends on your experience. So like, you know how you have a work resume?
Mhm.
You have a driving resume. So you have a resume with all the stuff you can do, like all the different driving techniques.
Yeah, I would just call it a portfolio at that point.
And it pretty much. So
Yeah.
you have all the jobs, all the movies, music videos, whatever job you've got hired to do, you have that there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not really much about pitching. I don't think it's that. It's like I said, it really all depends on who you know, because another big thing about the industry,
who you know starts with a conversation. So if you can't
that's true.
pitch
So
the conversation,
I mean,
right?
the way I
I
kind
feel
of
like that would get you further than just having, because I know a lot of people that make really good deals and they don't have a single like sponsorship deck at all. Like they don't even waste their time making one. It's just phone calls. So like,
I mean, for me at least, how I was able to move up from just music videos to like bigger stuff
right.
was talking, being genuine to at least the owner of the company, the stunt company. I just talked to him, showed him some of the stuff I can do.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Excuse me. Sorry.
I've been doing it the whole episode too, man.
But yeah, I just kind of, showed him what I can do, talked to him, showed him my enthusiasm, I have passion for this.
Yeah.
This is really something I want to take serious, not just something to say I did this.
To me, that is an elevator pitch. People overcomplicate. That's why I asked it, because like people overcomplicate an elevator pitch and think you got to be all sophisticated and like to the point really fast. Like this is value. It's like just be a human being.
Yeah, it's
Truthfully,
really all it
like
is.
that's all it seems to be.
Just be yourself, don't oversell yourself either. Like if you know you can't do something, don't say you can do it.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I learned as well.
I used to always think sales was like a roundabout way of fucking someone over, but it's not. Like if you're a good salesman, all you do is just tell the truth.
Yeah, so that's actually how
just
I was.
stand your fucking ground. It's crazy.
So my thing was when I worked at that first place, BrandsMart, they call it a Shark Tank. It's round, right? It's meant for you to just keep walking around. I learned my products. I learned about it, like television, sound bars, party speakers. I learned everything there was to it. Instead of just hounding you like a shark trying to sell you something, I would sell it to you with information.
Yeah.
So that way you
Build
feel
value.
Exactly. You feel comfortable buying from somebody that knows the product instead of, I turn this TV on. Yeah, you see those colors, right? Very vivid. They're nice. You should buy it.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. This is great. It's going to look in your living
and
room.
then they ask you a spec, and it's like,
Exactly.
oh well, so I think it's actually, let me go check on that for you.
So I learned my product.
Now I'm wasting time.
I sold it like that, but
No, that wasn't literal. Like I'm talking about in that scenario, it's like now I'm wasting time, which to me, time is 10 times more valuable.
100%. Because you just got to make them feel comfortable. You got to make them feel like they're your friend.
Yeah.
Because if you seem like you're just, just hounding them, trying to sell them something, shove something down their throat, they're not going to feel comfortable. They're not going to, yeah, I'm going to think about it. I'm going to talk to my wife about it. The amount of those that I got. I got to talk to my wife about it.
Oh, yeah, dude. Especially selling cars. Oh, you can really break down if a man's a real man or not.
So
or if they just hide behind their wife.
I knew some savage salesmen that would be like, why do you need to ask your wife? Does she wear the pants in the relationship? Oh my God. When I heard that one for the first time, I myself.
It works though.
Yeah, because then they got their
then
ego.
They feel all guilty and like,
I gotta show this guy I
you're
can
gonna take
afford
my
it.
man card. I gotta spend 60 grand to show I still have it.
Oh man,
That's fucking hilarious.
Listen, man,
dude.
the key to life: happy wife, happy life.
So if anyone is looking to get into the stunt driving career or just being a stunt double in general of any capacity, what would you say your best advice to those type of people are? Like best route to take, best people to talk to, best room to put yourself in?
You got to talk. You never know who you're talking to. Just talk to everybody like they're normal. So there's like, let's say you get an opportunity. Because I didn't have to go through that route. I got kind of like put into it.
Yeah.
But let's say you catch like an artist that, in their music videos, they do a lot of, stuff with motorcycles. In my case, I would go and do stuff with motorcycles. If that in their music videos, they always have a motorcycle or they have a car that they're always doing donuts in, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey man, big fan, this and that, blah blah blah. I'm actually a driver. This is the type of stuff I do. By any chance, if you ever need somebody, I could help you out with that.
Yeah.
Sometimes even doing stuff for free can help you out because you got to be able to sacrifice a little bit to get in.
Yeah. Especially if you have no portfolio or no
Exactly.
resume, like you were talking about. Easiest way to do it is just do it for fucking free. Show them.
Think of it like an internship.
Yeah.
You're there to get the experience with the possibility of getting the job later on. In this case, you do it. You show them that you're actually good. You can actually do what you're saying you can do.
Yeah.
Then they'll give you a call back. Hey, listen, man, we have this idea. You think you could do this? So, like, for example, for me, I got called to be able to do a music video for a rapper named Sexy Red. I don't know if you ever heard of her.
I think I've heard of. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I couldn't tell you what her music is, but yeah, I know. I think I know who you're talking about.
So I got contacted by a guy, not from my stunt company, from a guy that does props for music videos and stuff like that. And well, mainly he does music videos and commercials. But he was like, listen, the director's looking for somebody. They don't have, a stunt coordinator or anything. But I told him that I know about you. You think you can make it happen?
Yeah.
So they wanted a Scat Pack, a Hellcat, or a Corvette Red. They wanted to do donuts around her. I told them, right, what's the time frame? When do you guys need it by? They needed it for the same day. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to do it, but that just because I couldn't find the car. But that just goes to show you that it's all about talking to people, because the guy that creates props for the background referred me. And the crazy thing about Bad Boys, so there's a second part to this. So I got contacted by my company, but before I did, I got contacted by a customer of mine from when I was working at Lexus.
Yeah.
He was a firearms instructor for the movie industry. And I know because, so the reason that conversation popped off between us, he was wearing a film crew shirt. So I was like, I just asked him, I was like, hey, I see the shirt says film crew. Do you work in any industry like that?
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, I did a little while back. I was a firearms instructor and I'm a little retired now. He was like, I don't really do that type of stuff more. Now I just do like gun courses, like teaching people how to shoot.
Cool.
And I hadn't heard from this customer in like 4 or 5 months. And he called me and told me about it. But then his guy, I guess, they ended up changing the person in charge of finding people. And then that's how the company I was working for ended up getting it. And then,
Gotcha.
so before my company contacted me, I had gotten contacted by somebody else, which was a customer that I only saw 2-3 times at the dealership. So
That's hilarious, dude.
yeah,
Yeah.
that just goes to show you that talking.
Yeah, just make a good impression. If someone will remember you and remember what you do, then when the time comes up, I know a guy. I know a guy. 'Cause you do the same thing. I do the same thing. If someone asks me a question, this is what I think, but if I'm wrong, I probably know a guy that has the right answer. Or I don't fucking know, but I know this dude. He's got to have the right answer. It's just communication is the best thing ever.
Yep.
Learning how to communicate is a different story, though.
So
Learning how to speak. And all
that's
that
where the
stuff,
sales
dude.
comes in, though. Having to deal with so many people, learning how to talk to people, make them feel comfortable with you,
Yeah,
really helps you out in that case.
absolutely.
When was it that Falcon stopped with FD?
Oh,
That was it 22?
Yeah, I think it was 2 years ago, 2 to 3 years ago.
Yeah, just about. So I'll give you a small example. I was at FD Orlando, and I went to the Falcon booth. And
COVID was the break for Falcon.
Was it?
That was when it stopped. I'm pretty sure because they didn't come back after
Probably
COVID.
Yeah. So I went up to the Falcon booth, and there was just this random guy. They were handing out, like little bags and stuff like that. And I asked him about, a Falcon towel.
Yeah.
He was like, I could check in the back, just come back in about like 5 minutes or so. So come back 5 minutes later. He gives me the towel. He's like, this was the last one. You got lucky. So I was like, man, thanks. I appreciate it. And I told him, I was like, out of curiosity, what does one have to do to get sponsored by Falcon for tires? He was like, well, what do you do? Oh, I just do drift, grassroots stuff, but I want to get into like competitions and stuff like that. And I love the company. True story. If I can turn on my Xbox 360, the Forza Motorsports 2, That garage is filled with Falcon liveries. Love the Falcon liveries. And I actually told him that as a joke. And he laughed. He was like, well, listen, man, I forgot what he was. I think I still have his business card in my wallet. He was kind of in charge of like sponsorships. And this was just a random guy that was giving out, you know, the bags.
Yeah.
And I was actually in contact with them for a little bit. We were working on something, and then communications unfortunately stopped. And then 2 months later, they announced that they were, you know, splitting from drifting.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but it just goes to show talking goes a long way. You never know who you're talking to, so just...
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And it's just keeping it as simple as that. Just being a normal dude. Again, just being fucking normal. They're as normal as you are.
Yeah.
So just treat them that way. And
it goes, and that goes with celebrities too, and like drivers. You know, there are humans too. You know, let them be, give them their space. I've seen times where, you know, there's a celebrity just getting hounded. People want to take pictures. This and that.
It's almost hard to watch.
It
for
is.
T-Pain at Grid Life. Because like
I can imagine.
I know, like I've talked to all of them. I know he does that stuff for his own pure enjoyment. Doesn't make money off of Nappy Boy Automotive and like all that stuff. So every time he comes to a Grid Life, that's $45 and you can meet T-Pain.
Yeah.
It's that cheap. So like anyone with a brain is going to be like, yeah, I'll do that because I can just walk around the pits and go say hi to him, talk to him for as long as I want. Not knowing that like he just got out of the car from sweating his balls off and he wants a drink of water, but he can't even make it 5 feet to the trailer because he keeps getting bombarded by people. Now, of course, that's what he's built his career off of. I get that. He has to meet those people and say hi and, you know.
But there's a time and place for everything.
Yeah, but like understand if you see a crowd of people around him waiting to meet him, keep walking, come back. Like I hate that like people don't care and they'll just, you know, now's my only time. Now's not your only time.
No.
Go do some other
Still
shit.
4
come
hours
back,
left of the event.
Catch him when he's like, you know, just chilling there for a second. Nobody's around him. Go say hi and leave.
He's cool people, actually. I met him at 4th of July, the Drift HQ 4th of July drift event over in Atlanta Motorsports.
Yeah.
Met him there, and then I actually partied with him at SEMA. There was like this whole drift party with what are those guys up there? The series that Jeff Jones does with I think his name is
Hot Pits.
Hot Pits, yes. Yeah. So I guess it was a Hot Pits party, and I got to go there with.
I was there for a little bit. I didn't stay very late, but
so you got to see him interacting with everybody, dancing, and all that stuff. Did you see that?
Wait, which year?
This was not last year's, but the year before.
Oh no, I didn't go to that one.
Okay.
This year I went, and I don't know if he showed up at that party. Not when I was there. We left at like 10:30 because we were both. Me and David were on like 4 hours of sleep and shit.
That sounds like Vegas.
So I know, right? But no, I think it was the next night he was having a show in Vegas during SEMA. So we were like, fuck it. We went ahead and got VIP tickets. He had asked us to come out and come to it because a bunch of other people were coming as well. And we ended up going up to his hotel room that night and he showed us the fucking the heist video. Before it was color graded, before it was sound designed, before all of that, he had just finished editing it a couple days before. Because I don't know if you know that as well. He edits all of his own videos.
No, I didn't.
That's all his work. He just gets color grading and all that stuff outsourced. But yeah, we got to sit up there and say it's like fucking 5 a.m. after his concert. We're watching this video trying to stay alive. Because he's an animal. His sleep schedule's wild. Like I don't understand.
Pretty sure he's gotten used to it over the years.
Oh yeah,
between concerts, stuff like that.
He goes to bed at 10 a.m. To bed. Not wake up, to bed.
I haven't done that since Modern Warfare 2. I used to do that.
This is crazy.
I can't do that no more. I need my sleep.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Good dude though. I love all those guys
He's awesome.
down there. I've been talking to Rob too. I need to get him on the show. The mechanic.
Yeah, I know you're talking
about. Happy Boy. Anyways, sorry. Fucking shit. Rambling. We're about to wrap it up anyways.
No worries.
Okay, so as far as the rest of your stunt career and what you're pursuing there and drifting, what would you say as of now is your end goal? Where would you like to be?
like end goal, like once all said and done?
Yeah.
As far as the industry of like movies and stuff goes, I just want to be, be able to have that as a career, because right now I have to work a regular job to keep the bills paid. But I want to get to the point where I don't have to rely on a regular job. I can just do that, and that could be my job. Because that, like I said, that's something that doesn't feel like a job. So I would like to get to that point.
Never will. That shit still don't feel like a job, technically.
Man, but yeah, I just want to get there. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, yeah, I want to win an award for best stunt. I'm not in for that. I truly have a passion for it. I just want to be able to do it.
Just rather make money doing something I like to do.
Exactly, and it with the driving, it can, like, how do I say it? I get to be able to do like drifting and stuff like that. It's not always drifting. Yeah. It could be just regular driving, but like you get certain similar scenarios or certain jobs where you're doing some stuff of that. But
that's the thing. It's not drifting.
Yeah.
It's something new. And just for example, anyone that works at, say, a Walmart as a cashier or something, or McDonald's, whatever, it's the same fucking shit over and over again.
Exactly.
It may not be drifting, but it's something new every damn time you get in a vehicle, which to me, that's almost more exciting than drifting. Not knowing what crazy ass shit you're about to do in a car, or maybe it's not so crazy. Maybe it's just very casual.
At least I get to know.
And you get to drive a nice ass fucking car down the road or something. Like, dude, I don't know.
At least they
focus on the bad parts of shit way more than the positives. When if you take a step back, there's way more positives.
Yeah. But like, for example, with that, at least they tell you kind of what you're going to do, especially if they need you to do something big.
True.
They're going to tell you, like, so I drove for the Travel Channel, and I got to do some actual drifting in downtown Miami. And
nice.
It's like, they told me, listen, we're going to need you to do some like J-turns, simple, just regular drifting, pull a hydro, get it a little sideways. It's nothing crazy. It's not a movie. They just want, they're showing in what they recorded was I guess he's retired. I'm not 100% sure, but it was based on another stunt performer doing an interview with some lady, and he kind of explains to her how to do certain stuff. So she actually gets in the car and goes and like drifts. She pulls a hydro. She gets sideways.
That's wild.
Almost wrecked the car too.
Oh.
And this was my brother's car. This was my brother's car too. Yeah, LS swapped Z. But yeah, I mean, it's fun stuff, And at the end of the shoot, they're like, hey, listen, we still have the road for like 2 hours. If you have tires, go have fun. So
that's cool.
I went out, started drifting, threw a 360 in downtown Miami. Like, who gets to do this stuff?
Crazy.
I'm not doing it and then having to run from the cops right after. Like, it's all legal.
They're sitting there watching you.
Exactly. No,
like, hell yeah, bro.
Literally, there was a cop sitting outside his car just.
This is pretty sick.
This is pretty cool, man.
Good day to be a cop. That's so funny. I did want to ask on that topic though. Do they have any like stipulations on what you personally can record for, say, your own content?
So you're not really supposed to record. Like, for example, Bad Boys, you're not even supposed to be on your phone. They catch you on the phone. They can even send you home. I did know some people working on the sets of Bad Boys, and they were able to send me some videos that they captured me in. So I do have some stuff, but you're not supposed to. Same thing goes for music videos. You're not supposed to record, post it up. But sometimes it all depends really, because like if it's a label that's paying for the music video, they want it to be private. If it's just a rapper himself that's paying for it, they didn't really care. Yeah. If anything, it's more
super cool. Because like in my eyes, like I would think that would almost hype the movie up or the video up or show, whatever.
Regardless, you're gonna see it on TikTok. Well, rest in peace of that, but yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully it's still there. We ain't getting into that. So we can stay out of that. That'll get way too political too quick.
You're gonna see it on social media regardless though. Yeah. So, but as a worker, work ethic, being professional, we don't want to do that. You don't want to record. Sometimes they'll let you know if you can. Sometimes they'll tell you can't, For the stuff that I did in downtown Miami, they had us. They told us, yeah, you guys could record. They were recording on their personal phones too. Like Like the stuff that I did when I threw the 360, they were all just there recording. I was like, yeah, man, that was super sick, man. That was dope. Because for the rest of it, before I was just doing simple stuff. I like do a J-turn, pull the hydro a little bit, give it a little bit of gas.
Yeah.
So when they see me flick the car, I'm like 3 inches away from, the cement, like when it goes from
The curb?
street. Yeah, the curb. There you go. Sorry. So I'm like 3 inches away from the curb. And they see that, I'm like, yo, that was crazy. Even the guy, the stunt performer was like, let me ask you a question. Did you really mean to do that? Because I was just like, I was like, nah, listen, you got it on video, right? He was like, yeah. I was like, I'm going to tell you what I did. And then we're going to go watch the video back and you're going to see that's exactly how I planned it. So I explained to him what I did. And he was like, wow, man, that was impressive. That was pretty cool. So stuff like that, it's always fun.
I've always wondered why more drifters don't get involved in the stunt industry because of like we're controlling the limit at which a car can operate. So that's almost exactly what a stunt driver does on a daily basis. So
it's just,
we're all broke drifters. Let's go make some money doing stuff that
it's
we
hard.
actually like.
It's hard getting in. That's the issue.
Yeah.
So like, for example, actually, I think it was Tanner Faust.
Mm-hmm.
He was a driver in Tokyo Drift, I believe.
Oh yeah, I did know that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you have, I think Chris Forsberg may have done something in a movie before.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, those are mainstream people that know people.
True.
So
yeah,
that's the difficult part. There's a lot of people out there with a lot of skills that can help, probably do it a whole lot better than I will. But they just, unfortunately.
Part of it.
Yeah.
Maybe one day. Maybe drifting will get big enough and they'll start picking from us. That'd
Hopefully.
Be cool. But okay, well, I guess if you want, best piece of advice you have for anyone just getting into drifting.
Do what I did. Learn your car stock. As long as possible, it really helps out a lot. Going from a bone stock car to jumping into the car I have now that's fully set up, you really see the difference. Like, damn, that really helped me out a lot. You're not depending on, angle kits. You're not depending on hydros. You're going to be able to learn how to manipulate the car to do what it has to do without having all the accessories.
Yep. Hell yeah.
That's the best piece of advice I can
give. Good
give.
advice. I love it. Before the last question, I'll ask you this. I don't think I've asked anyone this on a podcast. Who do you want to see on a podcast? If you could pick one person, who would it be?
Man. From drifting, let's see, I would say we got to get Chelsea Denoff on here. Have you done him?
No.
Yeah.
I've talked to him a million times, but haven't done him yet.
I got to hear the story about pack your shit up. And
I think
I got to hear that story.
Did he not address that in the video?
I'm not sure if he did.
He did.
He probably did. I think it might have been like stories or something like that. I kind of swear I saw like maybe a little clip or something of him explaining it, but like I got to hear the full thing.
Yeah.
But definitely Chelsea.
I'll get him on one day.
The thing about him also is he knows so much as far as just from driving, the technical stuff. He even does courses like where he teaches you about alignments and, how to set up your car and stuff like that. So that's somebody that's very technical and can actually help out the viewers to learn something.
Definitely. 100% agree. All right. And then I guess the last question would be a little bit heavier. I know you've probably heard it, but if you had one message, or if you had the opportunity to speak to the entire world, what would your one message be?
Oh, man. Be nice, man. There's a lot of hatred out there in the world. We're all the same. We all come from the same. Yes, some people have it a little bit easier, but at the end of the day, they're still human. They still wake up, breathe the same air we do. They still put on pants. Just be nice. There's no reason to be, an asshole. I've came across some people that just... Yeah, like, there's no need to be such an asshole. Like, I've ran into some people that are just, I don't know what happened before I got to that point, but maybe they had a bad day, but still, man, there's no need to be an asshole to people. Be nice, help other people out if you can. I guess
I'm with it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, I guess if you want, plug yourself, plug people, any sponsors you want to shout out, anything like that.
Yeah. Instagram, bang_ bang. What did I say? It was bang_23.
Like, it's your name, dog. I don't know.
My YouTube channels keep banging. I haven't been as consistent, but I will now. Now I have a lot more content to shoot. Shout out to Zek Nova. Once again, I'm going to be selling the tires hopefully sometime in February in the Atlanta area. So if you guys want to reach out, let me know you are interested. We could go ahead and set up something. So, first batch, you get a discount.
A lot of you Lanier guys are watching.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be the Zek Nova plug in Atlanta, hopefully. Shout out to guys back at home. Lewis, he's the one that got me into drifting. If it wasn't for him, honestly, probably none of this would have been happening. The movie stuff, none of that. My brother Juan, he's the one that helped me out a lot. From family, they're the biggest supporters.
Yeah, don't forget that one.
So yeah, sponsorships. We got Zek Nova US, and then Parts W for helping me out with all my aftermarket parts that I need for my car.
Cool.
That's about it.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, good shit. I appreciate you coming up and taking the time to be on the podcast.
Yes, sir.
So I hope you enjoyed it as well.
I did. It was fun.
Out of it. But yeah, that's all we got for this one. So links to everything you will need are always in the description. And hit the subscribe, bell notification so you never miss an episode. Jesus, what is going on today? Anyways, just close it out, Josh. See you each and every Sunday for a brand new episode. Bye.
Stacking way up to the ceiling. Trust no bitch, can't catch no feelings. I've been taking long flights from the Bay to Ibiza. Hit home runs, I'm a ball like Jeter. I just want 4, then I leave her. I'm a young pop star, call the boy Justin Bieber. Got a little money if you want, I can teach you. Whole life a movie, you can watch it in theater. Stacking way up to the ceiling. Trust no bitch, can't catch no